I was orphan, my parent died some time ago, I was really poor. I was even attending the church but I could not afford even the offering in the church. I said to myself, how come other can afford to give offering but I can't? This realization of extreme poverty started to bother me. I prayed and I said, Lord, please give me a job so that I can also contribute like other in your work. The following day I saw a man that rented my service for I have fixed something for him in the past. I asked him for help but he told me he does not have money to give me. He continued his way. Few seconds later he came back to me and said, Jeremy, I want to give you a job for I have a warehouse where I am supplying drinks to shops and bar. I accepted his job offer. Immediately I started to manage the warehouse. It was really a good job and I forgot the hardship of unemployment. After working for months I got sick. Unfortunately this sickness lasted for a long time and I was replaced by someone else. When I recovered from the sickness I was back to 0 point with no job and in lack. I said to myself, I am an orphan but I cannot continue in this suffering. I decided to repair shoes because I thought you must start somewhere to get to the destination. While working I saw a friend of mine passing. He was surprised and saddened to see me repairing shoes. 2 days later he went to China and came back with mobile phones and he called me at his place. He showed me all kinds of mobile phone and told me, I am giving you these mobile phone with price tag. If you sell 10 of them daily you will get a good percentage of the profit. One day I sold a phone to a Muslim. When he went to work he saw that his workmate had the same phone but he bought it with a lot of money. This man who was a Muslim priest told me if you give just $10 you will be able to sell 10 phones per day. When I agreed he went on to do ritual with the phones. As a result I began to sell these phones very fast and big money came. I went on spending free and enjoyment. Every time I was attending that Muslim marabout I was selling fast. Days later he told me, Jeremy, instead of you coming here all the time I am giving you a prayer, that you will recite, and you will see result. He gave me words to recite in my heart to influence people to buy my phone. Thus every morning I recited this prayer and people were bewitched to buy my phones, and whenever I recited these words, whatever I tell a customer he accepted because he was dominated and came under manipulation. It is an undeniable fact. Many shops and sellers resolve to occultism to bewitch people to buy their product and to keep coming back. People bought my stuff without bargaining. I became a money man living high life. Instead of organizing my life I was living a pretentious life to impress other. After some time I spent all the money and I was left with nothing and I became poorer like never before. This situation was worse than when I was repairing shoes. When I lost my phone I wanted to know who stole my phone. A friend led me to a Muslim priest. That friend of mine always had money and women. I never knew what was the source of his income. We were in the waiting room hoping to see this priest. I saw a woman of middle class coming out of a luxurious car. She went to talk to the priest. I wanted to overhear what they were saying. The woman was complaining to the priest and said business was not going according to the plan and the priest was giving him instruction. Then I thought in myself, what is the point of trying to catch the thief that stole my phone? I would like to get rich quicker. It was my turn to talk to the priest. I told him forget about the thief. I want to become a wealthy man. Strangely the priest was not all right with that. He was actually discouraging me and telling me not to take that direction. Since I insisted, he agreed. He told me, you will buy a candle, powder, a mirror. You should not look in that mirror. He gave him a prayer to recite 7 times. This prayer formula was for stealing people money. I just needed to target a person in the street and determine the amount to steal from him and recite the prayer. Money will leave his bag or pocket to land in my bag. I went to the street and targeted a person and I recited the prayer, when suddenly I felt like my bag vibrated. When I opened it there was $25 that appeared. That's how I became a magic thief, stealing people money in the street. It is an imperative for Christian to be faithful in offering and tithe so that God can protect their possession. One day I accompanied a friend to a transfer agency where he was supposed to collect money someone sent him. There were a lot of people we had to for a long time. Then he got his money. I asked him money to buy something to eat but he refused. It is when we parted way that I applied the magic prayer against him. As a result all his money landed in my bag. When he reached home he said to her mother, I collected the money. But when he opened his bag there was no money. He started to cry and to explain to the family. Later he came visit me and started to explain to me while he was crying. I pity him and I told him that I had the money. He asked, how did you do it? It is not possible. I explained to him my secret and he was so shocked that he went to accuse me to my family. I was embarrassed and gave up. After some time I went back to the Muslim mystic. I said, Master, I don't want to steal anymore. I came here for big money. I want to become rich and wealthy. He replied to me, what you are asking is not easy. I will not encourage you to go that way. But since you are insisting, we will proceed. But everything that you will see here, do not shout, be quiet. The master put powder all over my body. He started to do mystical prayer and incantation. As a result I saw the place filled with smoke. I felt the roof of the place vibrating. Then from the smoke and from the ground emerged the jinns, that we call demons. They were 6 in total. They seemed Caucasians but their height was 6 centimeters tall. They were shorter than a pen. They greeted me and I responded. One of them lifted his hand to greet me. Surprisingly his hand became flexible and extended up to me in a distance of 3 meters. I was afraid. But since I was instructed to keep quiet, and gradually I lost my fears, they asked which language do I want to talk to them, as they speak many language. I chose my native language because I struggle to speak French. They asked me, what do you want from us? I said to them, I want money, a lot of them. They replied to me, we know you need money. Then they started to tell me the story of my life. They knew all things about me. They told me how I was suffering and I started to sell mobile phones and so on. They knew all things about me since the day I set my foot in the place of charlatan. I will advise you not to enter a cultic lodge or a medium place or a native doctor place. After telling about my life they said we are coming back, and they disappear. I was still sitting there and waiting for them. Few minutes later they reappeared. They came back with an envelope that had a $100,000. They said it's yours. When I held that big envelope in my hands there were many thoughts in my mind. I thought about many things that I wished to have. I thought sending all the family abroad. Then the jinns asked me to give them back the envelope. They said to me, if you follow all the rules and condition you will be rich. First you must give us a human being as a human sacrifice. I reacted in astonishment. I said I don't have anyone to give you. They said people die in your family, this is normal. You just have to select someone. When he die no one will suspect you. I replied to them that I disagree. Then we started to debate and argue. The Muslim charlatan who was there, behaved like this was none of his business. I understood why native doctor have power but they are not rich, for it require human sacrifice. They are not willing to shed human blood. I told these jinn that I am willing to sell a part of my body like my back. They said people will know that you are in the occult because you won't be able to conceive and have children. I disagree. As they were talking they came up with a mirror. I could see all the members of my family scrolling in that mirror, and there was a knife there. In case I agree to sacrifice someone, I just had to take that knife and stab somebody, and when there is blood on the mirror that's it. I said there is no way that I will sacrifice a member of my family, but I am willing to sacrifice my back. Since I was insisting they agree, they gave me a sheet of paper and said before you read sign first. Since I was bewitched I signed but I could read the content in the sheet of paper. Then they asked the Muslim master to help me read. He started to read the condition. They asked me to bring them hair of a dead man, nails of a dead man and my sperm and parfum that I never heard about. They said I have to bring all these things in 48 hours otherwise I will die or turn crazy. I agreed to these conditions and went out of that place restless.